It's December.
It's December.
And I am excited because that means Christmas, which means
It's 4 weeks away.
I'm going to be binging Christmas movies until then. So
The great thing about the Christmas holiday, one of the great things about the Christmas holiday
Yeah.
is it's not like Halloween. You know, the build up to Halloween doesn't have like something like that special. It's like a couple days before Halloween, you're like, I'm going to watch some scary movies.
some people treat it, though, that way.
I know. Witches love it. But then it gets... I mean, that's a fair thing. It's like their Christmas.
Yeah.
But like Christmas starts in November. I mean, you can be like listening to Christmas music and
Yeah,
watching
I have been listening to Christmas music since
November
I could,
1st,
since
right?
November 1st.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be cool, honestly, just today I want to talk about like what we're watching this season, and because it's all going to be holiday movies, and then also I want to talk about what our favorite Christmas movie is.
Okay, so the first question is the easiest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch everything I've watched last year.
Okay, but yeah, obviously.
Of course, but
what is that?
Well, there is one good movie though that came out last year that people need to add to the rotation, and it's not that they need to replace the older version of it. They just need to fit it in next to it. It's the new Grinch animated feature that came out last year.
The Illumination one?
Done by Illumination, yeah. It's just fun, lighthearted. It's a really good movie.
I like what they do. I mean, I haven't seen it.
I think it's on Disney Plus.
Oh.
I think.
Yeah, I got to check out what they got because they probably have a bunch of...
It's either
Good
Disney
stuff.
Plus or Netflix. I know because I watched it the other night. So, but it's just fun.
Why would it be on Disney Plus?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out in my mind.
Yeah, I think maybe you watched it on Netflix.
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I own a bunch.
Of streaming services.
No, of Christmas movies.
Oh.
So I don't need the streaming services as much.
So that'll be in my or that is already in my rotation.
Yep.
And then of course Home Alone.
Yeah.
Gotta have
classic.
the
1
Home
and
Alone.
2.
Yep.
Throw 3 right out the...
Growing up, my brother
know.
and I, we would on TBS, we would stream 24 hours of A Christmas
Yes.
Story. And so, you know, once we didn't have cable anymore or whatever, we just moved away and started paying our own cable bills or whatever. I guess more when we became adults and had to actually do stuff.
Yeah.
That went by the wayside. But A Christmas Story stuck.
Yeah.
You know, that one definitely stuck.
No, that's a great movie, dude.
Yeah.
That is absolutely a classic.
The
You have to
Santa
watch
Claus will be there.
it. Okay.
Definitely the
I
Santa
have
Claus.
only recently brought that back into the rotation because my wife likes it so much.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. I
It's
do
great.
like it, but I'm like...
Santa Claus 2 is not that great.
I watched it and I'm like, I forgot that this whole premise was that like Santa died.
He killed Santa.
He killed Santa.
Well, he didn't kill Santa. Santa chose him. It was time for Santa to retire.
I think Santa chose the ground,
right.
and the magic of Santa
It-
chose him.
He picked a toy maker who is cynical about Santa and said, "You're going to be the next Santa Claus." It's that simple. Well
Kinda
done.
dark.
It's great. And it's got just some good adult humor
Yeah.
in it. You know, he's walking down the street, you know, talking about the kids being good or naughty or nice, and then he passes the blonde in the dress, and he's like, "Very nice," and she's like, "In your dream, sleigh boy," and he's like, "Hmm." Great.
I forgot about
It's
that.
a great moment.
Wow.
I like when they're in the boardroom, and he's ordering up a bunch of non-food. It's just dessert, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I must be Santa Claus.
Well,
'Cause
they
that
did
sounds
that. They
awesome.
did a similar joke like that in Elf. I mean, he's always eating sweets and stuff. Because that's a good. I mean, that's a.
Elf is up
You
there
gotta
for
be.
sure.
It's gotta be in there.
You know, Elf is one of those movies I'll watch, even not at Christmas, though.
Really?
Well, I mean,
yes, it is.
it
that
is a
good.
Christmas movie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Definitely will be
Yeah.
watched this Christmas season. But
Okay, so I am always a sucker for like the Rankin Bass films.
course.
I mean,
can't go wrong
Rudolph,
with
Santa
those.
Claus is coming to town.
Yep. Yep.
You're Without a Santa Claus.
Yep. Frosty.
Frosty.
Although that one wasn't Rankin Bass.
No, I think it was.
Really?
Yeah, but they did 2D animated ones too.
They did.
Yeah,
Oh.
because I'm pretty sure they put out Grinch too, or maybe it was Buena Vista.
I don't know.
They had their hand in that too.
Nah, the Grinch was not. I don't know.
So have you? Okay, so one, I gotta add this in because I keep forgetting to watch it. But there is a Christmas movie that Rankin Bass did that's super weird, and it's called.
I think I've seen it.
Have you seen it? It's called The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus.
Yes,
and it's bizarre.
very bizarre. Yeah, because it goes through his like normal life. He's in Florida or something at one point or something.
No.
No?
It's like he like grew up in the forest with like fairies and stuff, and like they're showing how he got all his powers, like invisibility and immortality.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah,
and he has some trippy stuff in it.
Yeah, they have to fight like trolls who like hate toys.
Yeah,
and he's trying to bring toys, and then they give him the reindeer. And
the regular Santa Claus is much better from Rankin Bass.
Yeah, but this one is I feel like they must have just come off
Burgermeister.
Burgermeister,
Meisterburger. Yeah.
I feel like the Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, they must have like just come off of making their Lord of the Rings
probably, and they were just like
film, and they were like,
what if we
did that but with Christmas?
Bring some Tolkien to it.
It's not going to be Elrond. It's going to be this random fairy with like a deer head or something. It's weird.
Yeah,
dude.
It was weird. I remember watching it and thinking to myself, why am I watching this?
I think there's a reason why you can't find it readily. I don't think it was a hot seller.
You can find it in box sets.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think
box sets.
I think we own
but
them.
not individually.
No, you can't find any of those individually, can you?
I don't know.
I don't think you can.
So
all of mine I own from a box set. They all came from a Blu-ray box set.
So what's your favorite Rankin Bass film?
Oh,
of the Christmas ones?
Rudolph, probably.
Is it Rudolph? Okay.
Yeah, it's probably. I don't know though. I really like Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, because I don't know. Rudolph is good because you got so many awesome things. You got the Bumble.
It's like the most iconic
you got
one.
you got the mountain climber.
Yukon Cornelius.
Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah.
The story is kind of strange. But
a little bit. I mean, it's basically the song.
Right.
They just add like an abominable snow monster into it.
But the story of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, like I feel like it's just a better story, you know, and there's like a really human side to Santa Claus.
Sure,
and
maybe
Saint
a little
Nick,
bit.
And
you see how he meets Mrs. Claus and
I love the song that Meisterburger sings, you know, no more
toys makers.
Yeah. That's a great song.
It is. That's a good one
too. It's an
too.
earworm. Get stuck in your brain.
I would say, Rudolph is probably my favorite.
It's good.
It's between that.
I can't
and Santa
pick
Claus
one because
Coming
it's
to
like
Town. Tough.
Typically what happens is I'll watch one,
and
then I'll immediately watch the next one. So if I watch Santa Claus is Coming to Town, I'm watching Rudolph, or vice versa. It's not like I just sit down and I'm gonna watch Santa Claus.
Yep.
So they're kind of the same to me.
Yeah.
And they're pretty short. They're about an hour each, so it's good
I
time.
always go and get them all. Now I have them organized by Christmas, but I always get them all and just put them in a stack and leave them out because I'm like gonna watch like one a night.
Yeah.
And I always get like to a point where I'm, because like Night Before Christmas, obviously,
sure,
I'm gonna throw that in there. But then I get to like the other stuff, and I'm like, I don't care about this as much, or like, like Ernest Saves Christmas.
Wow, come on, man.
Ernest Saves Christmas is awesome, but
it's not one I frequent, and it's not one I watch regularly.
Right.
But when I get a chance to watch it, because I don't own it, and so finding it is very difficult. I think last year they had it on Prime, but
I've got it on VHS.
Yeah, see, I don't know if they have it, but like, come on, when they have the reindeer in the crate, that is so iconic.
Yeah.
And he makes the gun out of soap.
Yeah,
and
dude.
You got to get out of jail.
No, it's a great film. But
so goofy.
I wasn't going with like that's where I start to get to like the not good ones.
That's where you weed out.
It's like I get to like the weirder ones.
Sure.
That's where I throw in Life and Adventures of Santa Claus.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, these are like the weird ones.
Right. You just got to get them in to say you did it, but you're not like fully about it.
I'm gonna like front load with the classics.
Sure.
Right. I'm gonna go Home Alone, and then sometimes right into Home Alone 2.
Yep.
I'm gonna go the Rankin Bass ones.
Right.
I'm gonna get through those.
Yep. The
Grinch, Santa Claus.
And I even like
Elf.
the Ron Howard Grinch as well.
It's okay.
I mean, I know it goes outside. It took its own liberties creatively with the story and Whoville and all that stuff. And that's fine.
And then he had like a backstory and stuff. It's cute. I think that he captured Dr. Seuss's like style very well.
Yep.
But I like the Grinch just being more of like a bad guy who was turned good than having like a backstory and
I mean, I think Jim Carrey as the Grinch is fun.
Sure.
I enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
It's it's nothing to be angry about. I know some people are like, oh, it's terrible. But I'm just like, no, I really like it. I really think it's great.
I know a lot of my friends do Die Hard for Christmas.
That's a fun one.
That's
Yippee-ki-yay.
I love Die Hard.
But having children, that doesn't fit in the realm of
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
hey kids, we're gonna watch
let's
some
go
Die
watch
Hard.
Die Hard. I mean, my dad would be like, "Yo,
You
we're gonna
see
watch
him?
Terminator."
He's an evil, stereotypical German villain, and he has machine guns.
Yeah.
That glass, watch out, would hurt on your feet too.
Yeah.
That's how awesome he is. Thank you, Bruce Willis, for saving us this season.
We got Christmas Story in there. That's always, we already talked about that.
I like
one.
Christmas Story. I like Christmas Story because it just reminds me of, I think, the fantasy of Christmas.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
as a
that's kind of
kid-
the whole point.
Yeah, right, exactly. You watch it and you're just like, I do remember looking at toys and being just awestruck and going through the catalogs and wanting it.
Yeah.
And Amazon, they released their catalog this year and it was like 500 pages of just pure toys.
Yeah.
And as an adult, you understand what it is, but seeing your kids go through that, you're like, oh man, I remember doing that. That's a lot of fun. That's some
Yeah.
nostalgia there. And instead of window shopping, they're catalog shopping on Amazon. But whatever, it's still the mystery of it. It's still fun. Getting a BB gun for Christmas. I remember I got a BB gun one year for Christmas and I was jacked.
You did. I never got a BB gun. For
Well, it was a
Christmas.
pellet gun actually.
Okay.
It was an air rifle.
Okay.
But I was older. And and it was pretty sweet.
Yeah. It is obviously darker and more adult, but one that I do really like is Bad Santa.
Never seen it.
No, it's really funny.
Yeah, I know. And
it was like one of
Billy
John
Bob
Ritter's.
Thornton
It was like one of John Ritter's last films.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We totally forgot about the big Christmas movie head honcho, dude. National Lampoon.
It's a great movie.
Dude, no, that
a great
movie is
movie.
awesome.
It's a great movie.
It's so good. I wanted to have like the mugs.
Saying grace may happen like that at our Christmas vacation or our Christmas parties every year.
What?
We sing the Pledge of Allegiance.
The Pledge of Allegiance.
That
Dude,
was a
that was-
movie that we would sit down. My mom would just turn purple in the face from laughing from. So that's a
Yeah.
memorable moment for us and the shticks of that
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Just on point.
That was always a like one that we watched as a family.
Yeah.
I always watched like the Rankin Bass ones on my own, like as a
Oh,
kid.
okay.
But like
Sure.
the ones we watched, definitely National Lampoon, Christmas Story,
Yep.
and then Muppet Christmas Carol, which
Very good choices.
I think is the best way to watch Christmas Carol. Like I don't watch really Christmas Carol. Well, the one with Bill Murray, Scrooged, is that one's pretty good.
That one's good.
But I don't consider that as much like
That's
the
not a
traditional
Christmas Carol.
Christmas.
That's Scrooged. It
They do the
is,
Christmas Carol, but like
yes.
in a Modern setting
And a Bill Murray setting.
Yeah.
In
a Bill Murray setting.
I agree with you that the Muppet Christmas Carol is very great Christmas Carol. It's at the top of the list. But the George C. Scott version, to me, is still on my list.
Like the old school one?
Yes.
Okay.
Every year, there's just something about the grit and the feel, and then the change in Scrooge's character that George C. Scott presents to us is much different than who was Scrooge in Christmas Carol? There was an actual human actor in Muppet Christmas
Yeah.
Carol.
It was
Who was it?
Michael Caine.
That was Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like George C. Scott just did it better. He was colder. I feel like when I watch A Christmas Carol, they take the George C. Scott Scrooge and they bring him
Sort of.
into the. But anyway, I think they're equal par. I don't think one is better than the other because one
Okay,
has
okay,
Muppets
okay.
and one has all
Because
humans.
anything that has Muppets is automatically better.
No,
Oh. Muppets in space.
the Muppet Great Caper or whatever that's called.
Oh, the Great Caper's bad.
Holy
yeah.
cow.
But Treasure Island.
is still not great.
No!
Yeah, you got to rewatch it, my friend. It's a bummer.
I don't want that to happen.
I'm sorry. I know. I was like, oh my gosh, Muppet Treasure Island is so great. I'm going to watch the Muppet movie, then I'm going to watch Muppet Treasure Island. And I watched it, and I was like, this isn't that good.
Oh.
It's not as bad as The Great Caper,
Okay.
but it's still not good.
So what? That's not Christmas anymore. So what is the Christmas film that you have to watch every year? Like, if you for some reason you didn't get to any other Christmas film, what's the one that you cannot get through the season without watching?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, classic.
Yeah.
Why?
I love Jimmy Stewart. Anything Jimmy Stewart really is great, in my opinion.
Okay.
He was just a classic, awesome person. I think he was a genuine soul. I think the way he acted and brought to life these characters, it didn't ever feel like you were watching someone act. So Jimmy Stewart, first and foremost. Frank Capra's directing of the film and how he presented a small town feel that felt way larger than life. He took something that's so nuanced and simple of someone who's going through a hard time in the holiday seasons and made it bigger than one person. I think is just amazing. And I think from a human perspective of seeing a person who has dreams, longing for dreams, and to them, their dreams are never coming true because they're blinded to the realities of what it is, of what is around them, the gifts they've been given. Mm-hmm. And to them, they're only focused on their dreams or what they think are their dreams, that they're completely pushing aside everything else that's meaningful in their life. And then putting that in a Christmas setting like that, I think it's just perfect because it talks about the gifts we have and the gifts we were given, and that's the whole purpose of Christmas, is the ultimate gift we were given. And so to me, it's not about entertainment so much as it is just watching a film where you do appreciate your family around you. So for me, that's the top of my list, definitely. That's my must-watch.
Wow. That was very heartfelt. I feel like my top is like nowhere close to that.
Yeah, but yours is probably very entertaining.
Batman Returns.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. That's a good one.
It's my top one. I can't get through Christmas without watching Batman Returns.
You know what's so great about that? It's like a movie that even when you watch it out of season of Christmas, you're kind of wondering, why am I watching this? Because you just think, Batman. It's a Batman movie.
It's a Batman film, but it's such a Christmas movie. It all takes place during Christmas.
It all takes place during Christmas.
I mean, dude, I don't know. There's something about the feel and the music and like Catwoman's theme. I love that movie. The
clowns, they're so festive.
They're awesome. And the Penguin is like Danny DeVito's Penguin is unbeatable.
His Penguin is the reason why my wife does not like Danny DeVito.
Well, he is gross. He's super gross in it.
She can't get past. She sees
when he eats like the fish.
She sees him in anything else, and all she sees is the Penguin, which I think is I like it. I really love it.
Yeah,
but it probably is his curse a little bit.
Oh, fair enough.
But he's a great Penguin. Don't get me wrong.
He's an awesome Penguin, and I think it's. I mean, people
and
Shrek
is such a great villain.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The funny thing is about that. Obviously, Christopher Walken has such an iconic voice.
Right.
I don't know what the conversation was, but I feel like they were like, well, whoever we get to play his son, we have to have him do like a really bad Christopher
version.
Or just he has to do Christopher Walken voice. Like, why? Was he born with that voice? Like, and it's clearly somebody's trying. It's really bad. Yeah. Dad, you gotta beat the masses. Like, what? It's so terrible, but I love that movie so much.
So good.
And people dog it because they're like, oh, it's a bad Batman and stuff. Like, no, there's some weird parts.
What's bad about it?
I don't think anything.
Well, right, I know that.
The only part in that movie that I'm like, that could totally be without is like when Catwoman and Penguin meet up and like talk about killing Batman.
Eats a bird.
Yeah, and they're like messing with each other. I'm like,
Yeah, that's a little weird.
It's a little weird.
That's a little weird.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Other than that, I'm like,
it's not my favorite Batman, but you know that.
It's not for me. It like kind of is, but it's not the best Batman. I totally know that.
But to you, it is nostalgia.
It is like my favorite one.
So interesting. That movie was a movie as a child I always wanted to watch because we didn't own it. We owned the original Batman, okay. Tim Burton's original Batman, first Batman.
The Joker one.
Yep. We owned that, and I watched that all the time. Probably one of my top favorite childhood movies or top favorite movies ever.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's like one of your tops
still. And I remember watching Batman Returns maybe 2 times as a kid. But I also remember as I grew up as a kid, I always remembered the Penguin and the movie with Catwoman and the snow. And I was like always so excited. And it was a movie I always wanted to watch, but we didn't own, so I didn't really know how to get my hands on it or anything like that. And then when I got older and I owned it, my wife bought me the box set for Christmas one year, which was great.
Yep.
So I watched it, and I was like, yeah. This is good. I mean, this is post Dark Knight.
Yeah.
This is, and so it's post Christopher Nolan. It's all that. So I got to experience all of that. And I'm just a goofball for 90s stuff.
Yeah.
So Batman Forever and Batman and Robin are just the most buffoonery films I've ever seen, but boy, do I love them. I think they are just so great. So I don't think they're better than Batman Returns as far as like what Tim Burton did and Michael Keaton did and Danny DeVito did.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
She's
like the best Catwoman ever. I guess she's only been depicted in live action twice.
Halle Berry.
And not that Halle Berry's a bad actress. She's awesome. That movie is just
bad.
An unfortunate mess.
But even with that, The Dark Knight Rises and what's her name?
Oh, that's right. That was so forgettable. I forgot that
she
it
should have
happened.
stayed in The Devil's Wear Prada. But
well, no, she's a good actress. That role was just written really badly.
Fair enough. A lot in that movie was written really badly.
So
that's not Christmas. What
you had like such this heartfelt answer about your favorite Christmas movie, and I'm like, Batman Returns.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think being able to.
I mean, It's a Wonderful Life is a fantastic film. It's a classic.
Well, and I think it's a great reminder to all people. The reality is, if you can watch that movie and see what the message is and what the themes that play out are in that film, you can use it as a mirror to your life.
Yeah.
And you can see that your circumstances in life are as terrible as George Bailey's. Worse than George Bailey's, maybe. Better than George Bailey's, maybe. But the point is, everybody goes through problems and has really hard times. I mean, this guy, he bankrupted their whole bank, you know?
Yeah.
And he was going to jail. So, you know.
It was pretty bad.
Not to trivialize other people's cases, but that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know?
All Batman Returns taught me was just like watch out for penguins with rockets on their backs.
Yeah, what Batman Returns taught me was penguins with rockets on their backs is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I remember taking a trip to Chicago once when I was little, and I think we went to the Museum of Science and History or Natural Science and History or whatever, and they had a glass dome in it, and all I could think about were the rockets that the penguins shoot off their packs through the glass window in the atrium or wherever they are in the zoo.
They're in the zoo.
Yeah, whatever it is. I'm just like, man, this is where they were. I thought that's where Penguin lived as a kid. Going back to Chicago sometimes as an adult, I still think this totally could be Gotham.
You could see, it's so funny when you get all the real penguins in that film, but then in the end when they like push him into the water when he's dead.
They got the see masks on.
The penguins that are clearly people in suits, along with the gigantic penguins.
It's a great movie though.
I love it.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's dark.
You know, the whole Bring Me Your Firstborn, Gotham, and
dude, right?
That's pretty dark.
Like the intro. Well, the intro is when they give birth to Penguin, and I
always wanted to see what the baby penguin looked like.
Yeah, because you only saw his hand, and he eats the cat.
Yeah.
But when the mom and dad throw him off the river, and it's all snowing, and the Danny Elfman
they're
scores,
super happy, fixes his tie. He's
no, he doesn't. No, they're just looking out on the bridge, what. Is it done? Are we finally rid of this kid?
Yeah, and then you hear him go over the edge, and he's like,
yeah,
he makes a weird noise. You're like, ugh.
And then the Danny Elfman theme starts up. I'm like, dude, and when that scene happens,
it's a good intro.
I'm gonna have a good time now.
Yeah, it's a good intro. It's a great way to introduce us to a villain. Yeah, I will totally agree.
Without much.
Yeah, well, and I think it's also a really great example of not showing us the villain before we see the villain.
Right.
You know, I mean,
letting us wonder about stuff.
How long did it take us before we actually saw before we saw Penguin?
Right.
I mean, we saw a remnant of his hand when the tree lighting ceremony was starting. So you knew something was there, but you hadn't seen him yet.
Right.
You know, and I like his name,
Oswald Cobblepot. Yeah.
And he wears it with distinguished.
Yeah.
As a distinguished person.
He goes to the library and
he's eating a fish. And he bites a guy's nose
off. At least my nose isn't gushing blood. They all he bites his nose. Dude, that movie rules.
That's great. And it just goes to show what cronies will do.
Right.
You know, and what people who are put in positions of powers can get away with. And then knowing that there's always someone behind the scenes pulling the strings.
And it just goes to show where, your maturity level is with films and where mine is.
Okay, well, I don't think that's fair because, I also did say I like Batman Forever.
Yes.
But
not as your top tier Christmas film.
That movie's great. Yeah, I mean, I just love Christmas movies in general.
Me too,
I think one of the things, even though they're all about Christmas, I really do feel like you don't ever see I don't feel like I've seen Christmas movies that are repeats, that feel redone.
Oh, yeah,
fair,
yeah.
Like, I always feel like the stories of Christmas are always different.
Yeah, and they always are able to throw in some new cool twist.
We're like another genre we love is Westerns, for example.
Yep.
They're always redone. A Western
they're redone a lot.
You're in an old town, an old desert.
Or you don't think it's redone and then you find out it was a samurai film.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so, and that can go across multiple genres, war films, all that stuff. You're like, I've seen this before. But Christmas films, they come out, unless it's a remake, which that is not what I'm counting. But, like, if it's a new, original Christmas film, I really feel like usually the stories are pretty original.
Well, that's why I thought Elf was so good, was because it was a newer Christmas film that cemented itself into, like, Christmas classic history. Because usually they're all, like, all the classics are from, like, the 80s and 90s or somewhere in there. But, like, Elf came out in the 2000s and just, like, pushed itself in there with, like, the head honcho classics,
Yeah, and that's what I think Christmas is so great, because Christmas means something to everybody in their own way.
Oh.
So you put it in the hands of directors, and they can bring something truly original out.
Yeah.
Solely on the premise that it's a Christmas film.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
So do I. I'm such a sucker for it.
That's good. I mean,
Christmas specials,
and
shows,
and
all
with
that
the
stuff.
excitement that we have now,
yeah,
I'm very excited at the beginning of January to talk about Christmas depression, because that is a thing.
So that's about all the time we have.
But it's gonna happen.
That's about all the time we have.
Because it goes away. This happiness leaves us.
That's about all the time we have.
And then you're sad.
Thanks for listening to us rant about our Christmas films. Tell us what your favorite Christmas films are. What are you watching this season? Obviously, we're going to be watching films every single night. I am. So.
Well, I probably will.
Sweet.
All right. Well, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. No, Thanksgiving already happened.
Oh, shoot. Well, have a joyful build up to Christmas, and we'll see you on the next one.